So he appointed one lady who's in charge of that, who's been helping out with the city, and we actually also, for the first time, you know how I do the letter grades to the restaurants? We letter graded all of the city agencies to see how much NWBE contracts they've been doing in all of the different agencies. So, for example, we had to be fair with everybody. We graded ourselves in the controls office, and we got a C. So he wants us to be at an A by the end of this year. And a lot of the city agencies got a lot of D's and F's because, like I said, not a lot of people work with procurement.
That's fabulous.
Not a lot of companies work with NWBEs in the city, and the city can change that. So that's their job. That's another thing. We also do audits. We audit all of the city agencies to make sure they're spending the money right, see if we can do different savings. Right now, he's doing an audit of NYCHA from top to bottom.
Yes. That should be interesting.
Yeah. So, and it's very interesting because now we also, I don't want to skip ahead, but we have a constituent part of our office as well. It's our 311 basically, right? And if you have any issues or concerns, you can call our office and we can see if we can deal with them for you. But because we're doing the audit of NYCHA, a lot of the claims we get, or a lot of the complaints we get, are with residents in NYCHA. So, but when we call now, they seem to answer everything we do right away. Like, hey, this person's complaining about you. Oh, we'll be right there. It's like, hey, we've been calling for months. I'm like, so it's good. It's good for the residents. It's good for everybody because right now I think since they have their feet to the fire a little bit, they've been really proactive on trying to get things done properly. So, but anyway, he's doing an audit from top to bottom from NYCHA. A few things he's found out, a couple of audits he's done so far is Section 3, which is a thing in NYCHA where basically they're supposed to hire about 30% of residents, 30% of a contract. 30% of a contract comes from residents from NYCHA. They're supposed to hire them to make sure that they get jobs inside of NYCHA doing different things. So if they get a federal grant for $100,000 to fix the windows or whatever, they're supposed to hire workers from that particular facility to help, fix things up. But they haven't been doing that for a while, so we caught on to that.
Have they been?
No, they have not been doing it.
That's what I figured.
So now hopefully they'll change up and start doing that as well. But what's another audit he did? That's pretty interesting. Oh, DOE. We audited the Department of Education as well, and we found out that over 33% of all the schools are overcrowded. Right? Some are overcrowded by 238%. So that means double the amount of kids, plus 38% are in one of these classes, and they are not really doing anything to fix that right now. They have, like I said, over 33% of the schools are doing that right now. So we've put some fire to the mayor, and he said he's going to deal with that, and he's trying to fix that as well. Obviously, there's space and money and all those things, but 238% is a ridiculous number to have. One teacher cannot teach that many people at a time. So those are a couple of audits that he's been doing as well. We also have, I think this one was interesting as well because it's nothing to do actually with the Bronx, but the Queens Library. I don't know if you guys know about that, right? The president. His salary was like $300,000 that he made for himself. He spent $130,000 on a patio. Like he built himself a patio for his office, and basically he was just spending money when he felt like it, nobody's watching. And then we finally caught on to it, and at first they, about 75% of the money is taxpayers' money. The other like 35% or whatever comes from private, whatever. So they didn't want us to audit anything. They were like, no. The board of trustees said, no, you can't audit it. It's not fully city funded. We're like, okay, well, we'll take all our money back. They're like, you know what? Audit it. So we audited, found all the things he was doing, and actually now he is either, I don't know the word is fired or gone, but he's not working there. He's not working there.
The head of it?
The library.
Is that the head of the library in Queens?
I'm sorry?
Who is that?
It's Queens Library, that's what it's called.
Just one library?
Right.
That's how much they make?
City system remains the same.
Queens Library system.
Oh,
It's an independent,
So
bold,
that's
bold
one of them
system.
as well. We also come up with a lot of different but also claims. All the claims that you do against the city when you call up and you try to sue for like a pothole or a tree fall, all those claims come into our office. So we deal with those things, and we're the ones that pay them out to people.
Say that again?
Claims. All the claims that go against the city come through our office. We are the ones that negotiate negotiate them and pay them out. Potholes, tree fall on your car, anything with the city, if you're on a street lights, well, like if the street light fell on you.
These are claims that insurance.
That's a problem with them.
Right, yeah, the street light fell, you probably bigger issue. But yeah, all the claims, one important one we settled recently was Central Park 5, remember that?
Yes, yes.
We were the ones that settled that contract, that claim with them. We also did one recently in Rikers, an inmate died. I don't remember you guys.
Oh, I remember that.
We were the ones that settled with the family as well. And right now, Eric Gardner, I know everybody's heard about that, we're trying to get ahead of that and do it as quickly as possible without as less, we don't want it to get too crazy, basically. I think that's the strongest word. So usually when you do a claim with the city, it takes forever to get it paid out. This particular one, control's like, we need to hit this right off the bat, you just start right away, so we're working on it right now as soon as possible. He also created this thing called Claim Stats, where it's almost like comp stats for the police. I don't know if you know that, where, we find out a particular place over and over again, people keep filing claims on it. Maybe we can be proactive. Instead of paying out, we can go there and fix it. For example, if the 47th?
Where?
49?
49 is here.
Get 49. Let's say the 47. Let's pick another one. Let's say a different 4X. A 4X. Let's say there were some officers there that they kept doing complaints and we kept paying money out. Instead of us paying it out, we would figure out who these complaints are going against, and we could proactively maybe fix it before it becomes another complaint. So that's what Claim Stats is. It's figuring out areas and locations and problems that we can work on. For example, the tree pruning. They cut that budget by like $2 million, right? So a lot of trees aren't getting pruned. But all the claims for trees falling on cars have gone up. So you've cut $2 million here, but we're paying out $11 million, right? So wouldn't it make sense just to give the money back to the people that are pruning the trees, so that way we don't pay on the other side? So things like that. That's what Claim Stat follows to see what's going on. So he came up with that. It was a great idea. I wish I had.
Are those accurate numbers, or we just all those ideas?
Those are.
$11 million last year?
We did spend about $11 million on, literally one person got like $8 million somewhere in Central Park. And at the same time, they cut the budget for the tree pruning by like half. So we're saying, hey, maybe people were cutting trees, we fall, and then we would have to pay it out. So little things like that. He's trying to figure out best ways to save money. At the end of the day, his job is to save as much money for the taxpayers. Yes.
Can you say which agency gets the most claims?
Which agency gets the most claims?
Yeah.
NYPD. I don't know if it's most payout, but the most claims come in from the NYPD, and then probably Department of Transportation, because they deal with the floor, potholes and things like that. I'm not exactly sure about that. So don't put it in the paper or something. I could be wrong. But
Do you look at the budget for parks?
he oversees all the budget. Like the city council and the mayor, they come up with the budget, and he kind of checks it. He's not able to. He doesn't have I don't know if the word is right, on the budget itself, but he can see it and suggest different things.
And MTA?
No,
The MTA is a state
that's the
agency.
state. That'd be good though. That'd be good. Finally, we have a thing that, like I said earlier, we call it our 311. It's the CAC department. So if you have any issues or concerns or problems, and you can call 311 and you can call your local elected, which are great. I love Ricky Torres. Mark Joe and I went to his party. Not saying there's nothing wrong with them, but if you have any other issues or concerns, you can call our office as well, and we can see what you can do. I'll give you that number. It's 212-669-3916.
What is this again?
It's basically our equivalent to 311, right?
Okay.
So he has about 35 people there that are waiting to deal with any issues or concerns that come out from the different communities in the city. So from anything from tree fell, your heat, whatever issue you have that you might call them for, you can call them.
That means you should call 311 or call you? Is that the difference?
What I suggest is you call 311. They usually give you like a claim number, right?
Right.
Then you call us, and then we yell at them with that claim number. That's
Oh, okay.
usually what happens. Because usually from agency to agency, people, and just in my opinion, they respond a little quicker when a different agency calls. I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So if you You called and said, hey, I got claim number 443, she said she called you for 2 weeks, she hadn't heard back from you. They go, oh, okay, because nobody wants to look bad to their peers, I guess.
Okay, that's great.
Grace?
Yeah, quickly, as far as the DOE, I don't know if you're aware, this Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 13th, is a CEC business meeting, and the school construction agency is gonna give their presentation. So I was wondering if you could possibly come and make that. You can listen, you don't have to let them know
Well,
who
we
you
have
are.
somebody from the policy, I have somebody from the policy department. It's here in the Bronx?
It's at PS 121,
Okay.
district office.
Yes, you also, I can.
If you could, yeah,
Yes.
just to listen to the Who Shot John speech that they always give every time they want to justify
Right.
expenditures, and they can't do this and they can't do that.
Give me information after
Okay. And number 4, Scott Stringer's office, is 212 number or is it a
212,
number?
that's the number, 669-3616. That's the CAC,
Okay.
that's the claims department. I can give you my number as well, so you guys can have it.
212-669-36,
No, 3916, I'm sorry.
is that right?
3916.
3916, okay, and your number,
My number is
right?
212-669-3683.
Three.
And again, my name is
Last
Jason
name?
Laidley, Laidley.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's your first name?
Hanson. Hanson. Jason.
Jason Handsome.
Right.
Laidley.
My mom and my new fiance calls me Hanson.
Oh.
That's sweet.
Any other questions?
Do you do the Board of Elections, or is that a state thing?
Do, as
Do you
what?
audit the Board of Elections?
No.
It's federal.
We don't.
That's state?
That's federal, right? It's federal.
No, I don't know if it's
It's a
federal.
city
but
agency.
Yeah,
It's a city agency.
we don't, I've never heard of auditing the Board of Elections. Maybe.
But if it's a state agency,
I mean, I guess they could. We can audit, if it's any city agency that's paid by city funds, they can audit. I just never heard of us auditing the Board of Elections. Maybe that's something we should look into, if you feel like you're stealing money in some sort of way. They're always out of it.
not stealing, but they're not getting good ballots for the voting machine.
I will check. I will check and see.
And the ballot situation,
Right,
formatting the ballot.
right.
The voting machine company is basically a monopoly in the United States.
They've gone back to the other, right?
No,
No,
they did it just for a couple of elections where there wasn't enough time in between the two elections for the voting machine company to format the new ballots.
It's a good question. I'm not sure if we audit the Board of Elections. I've never heard.
It's under
Well,
federal
they need an
guidelines.
audit.
It's not federal. They federal monitors.
Yeah, they need.
You have to call federal if you have an issue with the machine or
Right.
corruption.
Then,
They give you the numbers, the federal hotline.
okay, then no.
So, I mean, I don't,
No, I'm not sure that's true, actually.
no, because the federal New York State,
No, I'm not sure it's true, because the New
Well,
York
look it up
City
on
Board of
Google.
Elections.
Look it up on
each,
Google.
and they also
I'll
have the
check
New
either
York
way,
State,
just to make sure.
yeah,
The Board of Election is a city agency,
Right.
yes.
and there are borough and overall city commissioners.
Right, because they
But they, even though they run a federal election, federal elections are not run by the federal government. They can investigate under the civil rights laws whether it's done fairly, but your concern would be how these people spend their money
Correct.
and how they run their operations and whether they're efficient or not, correct?
Yes, that would be
They're
exactly
a
right.
prime subject for an audit.
Okay. I will, that's also as well. Our website, we have a couple places where you can actually, fill in and see if there's an audit you think we should do. We're not doing, you can do it. Or you can tell me, like, I'm gonna go back and do as well.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. I know, I met Scott Stringer. I know him personally, we volunteer for him, because he said he's gonna do a full-scale audit of the ACMC, Animal Care and Control.
They did? Why did
No,
that place close?
unfortunately, the audit he did didn't address many of the issues regarding intake, poor record keeping, because I know people
That place should
volunteer.
be closed.
It needs to be really addressed.
that place should be
And there are even people who work as volunteers and some workers who are willing to whistleblow on the atrocities that's going on every day. I
So
wish-
I'm gonna give you my email address, my card.
Okay.
If you can send me the questions, maybe I can
Yes,
use our audit
because
department.
I know
see
he
if they can do
released a
different.
report
Tell
last year.
everybody what it stands for.
A report last year, but it failed to address. It was a very,
too general.
I'm an accountant, by the way, and it was a very poor audit.
Okay.
And it was online too, and I read it. as well as many
Tell
people.
everybody what the ACC is.
Animal care and control.
I know what it is. It's animal care and control, what she's talking about. They should be closed, truthfully, not for nothing, but they should be
No,
closed.
they need to be more funded, and also there has to be accountability, which there is, because
Fran,
Because
if you
unfortunately-
close it, then what happens to the animals? Then
They're
they get,
horrible. They're horrible. You have to
Yeah,
like
but-
read it. They're horrible.
I would say revamp it,
No, it has to be-
rehabilitate it.
Right, right.
yeah.
Okay.
They went through
Jason.
12 directors.
Oh,
12 directors.
yeah.
Oh, I think I'm pretty much done.
Diana, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question about the city time and about private contractors versus city agencies.
Okay.
And my question is, you said that you reviewed the contracts as they're made, but somehow the city time, there was a contract, and then it went on in a balloon, and then years later, people figured out that it had ballooned. But also the question is, that's related to that is, so many of the new contracts are with private companies, and there's more and more and more privatization. So how does your agency, like, do you handle the city agency